It is officially Bubba Chandler time in Pittsburgh, and Ben Rice has been crushing it for the New York Yankees. I have those names and more that you need to add to your teams on today's action-packed episode of Locked On Fantasy Baseball.
You are Locked On Fantasy Baseball, your daily fantasy baseball podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics, and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Baseball podcast, brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. As always, we're your number one source of fantasy baseball knowledge, and thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. I'm your host, Dominick Martino, riding solo today, as you can see if you're watching on YouTube. And if you are watching on YouTube and you haven't already, hit that little bell below. It's going to subscribe you to the channel and give you a notification every time we drop a new episode. Or if you're listening on the audio side of things, once again, please make sure you're subscribed. And if you're listening on a platform like Apple or Spotify that allows 5-star ratings and reviews, we would truly appreciate it if you do that for us as well. And lastly, and what's going to help you win your fantasy baseball league is joining Matt and I on the Subtext platform. Joining us on the Insiders track. Little name switch up there. So on the Insiders track, we're going to have those instant prospect note qualification alerts. Bubba Chandler got the call. Probably got a little nice alert on that one. And, when we do these waiver wire episodes, like today's episode, we're going to rank these guys for you and let you know how you should prioritize them when you're picking them up. So join Matt and I on the Insiders track. We're going to help you win your fantasy baseball league. And the link is in the bio wherever you're listening, watching, and it's available on any of our social media platforms. And this episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two to any golf tournament in the U.S. Visit 5-h-e-win.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary, and it excludes the Masters Tournament, and this offer ends October 31st, 2025. And all right, guys, let's get into today's episode, and I'm not even going to hide it. Bubba Chandler has gotten the call for the Pittsburgh Pirates. If you're not familiar with him, he's a starting pitcher. He is the number 7 overall prospect, according to MLB.com. And he's had a decent year. He's down in the minors. He started off like a house on fire and was just tearing up AAA. I want to say through his first. I can actually give you the exact amount of starts before he started to lose his touch there. He went pretty deep before he was starting to get really. This is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I want to say about 15, 16 starts before he started to lose it over the past month. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bubba Chandler's last 6 starts have been bad. So it's a weird time for Pittsburgh to call up Bubba Chandler, right? When he hasn't been performing well, the numbers are taking a dive. Even in Bubba Chandler's last start, it was 3.1 innings, 4 earned runs, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. Just didn't look good, So he's here. He's a top prospect for a reason. He's 6'3", 218. He's got the big fastball, that gets up there, touches 99. He sits around 97, has a nice slider, also throws a curve and a changeup. The changeup is, a little bit above average, curveball, around average. But, Bubba Chandler could come up and be good. He could get that, hey, listen, there's not a lot of tape on him. He could kind of find a way to lock in. Maybe being up with the big league team is going to be what makes the difference for him. Real quick, he is already up to 30% owned on Yahoo, so pretty much out the, rising rapidly as we speak. Still 70% of leagues where Bubba Chandler is out there. And I honestly think, I want to say, if in your shallower leagues, if you play in an 8-man, 10-man league, I don't think he has to be picked up right away, right? So it looks like he is going to pitch, it looks like on Friday, bear with me as he's going to pitch Friday against the Rockies, so it's a good, nice, soft landing spot. For his first matchup, it's not like he has to go out there and pitch against a tough team. At least add Chandler for this start on Friday against the Rockies, and see where it goes, because he could have a nice little run here. And with most leagues, what do we have? Month left. Most leagues, maybe 5-6 weeks at max for fantasy baseball. So pick up a kid like this, and he could help you get to the promised land. Let's talk about somebody who's already made their debut. Talked about him a bit last week, and you know what? Just kind of want to keep throwing his name out there because, still only 30% on Yahoo, and he's already, ownership-wise head-to-head with Bubba Chandler. It's Nolan McLean. He's also going to pitch again this Friday, but once again, as I mentioned, McLean has made his MLB debut already. It was against Seattle on August 16th, and McLean is a starting pitching prospect. Not a prospect anymore because he's made his debut, but Nolan McLean is a starting pitcher for the New York Mets in his debut on August 16th against Seattle. He went 5.1 innings. He got the win, 8 strikeouts, no earned runs, and had a 1.13 whip. And McLean was the number 37 prospect in all of baseball before getting the call by the New York Mets. And for good reason. He's got elite stuff. He's 6'2", 214. Fastball is solid. It's not a blow you away type of fastball, but, it does top out around 98, sits around 94 to 96. His slider, it's a big, big slider that McLean has. So, that's his really wipeout kind of pitch. He also mixes in a curve and a cutter as well. The control was always the big problem for McLean. He took a nice step forward in that department this year in the minors. McLean made 18 starts. It was 21 games pitched overall. Had a 2.45 ERA, 113 innings pitched, 127 strikeouts, a 1.13 whip, and batters were hitting 192 against him in the minors. And McLean, like I said, got good stuff. Big guy. The Mets are a solid team, so he's going to win some games. Has the prospect pedigree. I'd personally, for me, if I have the choice between McLean and Chandler, and I'm sure a lot of you do out there, I'm gonna take McLean. It's a tougher start on Friday. He's gonna be at Atlanta, and this Atlanta team, hey, they've been hitting. Harris, Ozuna, Acuna's back. So this team's been hitting a little bit recently. So it's gonna be a tougher matchup for McLean. If you want the guy for the one start, it's Chandler. If you want the guy who I think is gonna help you next, like I said, 5-6 weeks to win a fantasy baseball championship, I think it's going to be McLean, but I'm not counting Chandler out either. But Nolan McLean looks really, really good so far with his debut. Let's see if the Mets will let him throw. I know I've heard talk of innings limits, and I'm sure it's going to be the same with McLean as Chandler too. But I like McLean, so that's where I'm leaning. I'm leaning Nolan McLean on who I would take over the two. And once again, Nolan McLean was the 37th prospect in all of baseball before getting the call by the Mets. And, he's had a really productive minor league career. And even if you go back and look at 2024 for McLean, 3.78 ERA, 25 starts, 109 innings, 116 strikeouts. Whip was a little high at 1.26. The batter still only hit 238 against him. And, as he's gotten older, like I said, he is just aging, very, very well. And the Mets have notoriously for a long time been good with their starting pitching prospects, and it looks like we're starting to get that little mix back again. McLean, we might see Tong hopefully down the stretch here. Oh Lord, what's the other dude's name? Brandon Sparrow is their other starting pitching prospect. So the three of them makes you think back to the DeGrom, the Matt Harvey, the Steven Matz, the Zach Wheeler, that group of Mets starting pitchers that was really, really good. So Nolan McLean must add for me. But before we move on, and I have Jack Perkins, Luis Heel, and then we're going to do some bats as well. Those names and more coming up next. And all right, guys, I need to talk to you about my friends over at Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Listen, happens all the time, right? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track, and that's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO. Giving you full visibility and control over your finances, Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you just stop managing your money and start building your wealth. With their surprising insights, when I personally started first using Monarch, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery, and now I budget smarter and save more. With their easy collaboration, managing your money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. And guys, just want to talk about the insider track one more time, right? Fantasy football is here, and listen, I got asked to play in 2 leagues today alone. So I know how stressful it comes when you're getting ready for fantasy football, and you need to keep track of your fantasy baseball teams, right? So let Matt and I help you make winning your fantasy baseball league easier than ever. Join us on the Insiders track. Listen, you got the instant prospect qualification when Chandler got the call up, when McLean got the call up. There's still a couple of more guys down in the minors that can make a big impact when they get the call. You're going to get an instant text messaging alert right to your phone, so you'll be able to pick these guys up before anybody else in your league. And then when we do these waiver wire episodes like I'm doing today, we're going to rank these guys for you and tell you how you should prioritize them when you're picking them up. So hey, a little text to your phone, hey, these are the top 10 guys. Check your waiver wire, make quick little ads, and it's just going to help you be better and than everyone else in your fantasy baseball league. So join Matt and I on the Insiders track. The link's in the bio wherever you're listening, watching, and it's available on any of our social media platforms. But let's keep things pushing because I know you guys want some action here, so I'm going to give it to you. Let's talk about this next guy. It is Jack Perkins of the Athletics. Listen, he made that little switch from the bullpen over to, the rotation, and he's been okay. I don't want to say great, but he's been all right so far. So in, his debut, back to the rotation, it's actually been 3 starts on the year. I think he made one earlier in the year before, making his first one. It looked like it was on August 9th. It was at Baltimore. It was 6 innings. He did get the win in that one, actually. So like I said, it wasn't too bad of a start. 5 strikeouts, gave up, I think he gave up two earned runs in that one. And he wasn't too bad, 0.67 whip. Then he went out against the Angels on August 15th, 5 innings, got the win, 7 strikeouts, gave up 3 earned runs in that one, 1.6 whip. Wasn't too bad. As you guys are listening to this, it's actually kind of almost a same-day move, so I apologize about that. But if you have same-day ads, you could add Perkins. He's pitching here on the 21st. It's a nice little matchup against the Twins. So I really do like that one. That's a nice little juicy matchup. But let's see, for everyone, I know most of us playing don't have same-day ads. Let's see who he gets next time out. Detroit, not as sexy as a matchup, but you know what? I think it's something Perkins could handle. After that, he gets either Texas or St. Louis, which are better matchups. But, Jack Perkins is a young pitcher. I believe in him. I think he's going to be pretty good, going forward for this Athletics team, especially if they could hone in on a few different things, make a couple of tweaks. Because on the season for Perkins, it's a 4.28 ERA, a 1.13 whip, 33 innings pitched, 35 strikeouts. So a guy who's also 9% owns Jack Perkins, widely available. Sneaky little same-day ad against the Twins if you can get him here on Thursday. If not, gets Detroit and Texas or St. Louis coming up in his 2 after that. Once again, Jack Perkins. I do like that. I do think it's a nice little move there for a pitcher who is on the upswing, could be a little bit useful down the stretch here. Let's talk about Jameson Taillon, coming back off the IL not too long ago. And Taillon, we know who he is. It's not like a Jack Perkins who could be good. We know that Taillon's pretty good. Came back, looked really good on August 19th in his first game back in almost 2 months. Taillon went 6 innings in that one against Milwaukee, of all teams, one of the hottest teams, had been one of the hottest teams in all of baseball. Got the win, 4 strikeouts, gave up an earned run, 1 whip, and hey, listen, Taillon looked really good in that one. He's going to get the Angels potentially this weekend. It looks like on Sunday. I think that's a must-add for me anywhere, especially going into a weekend. You need a nice little boost. I don't think Taillon will give up too many runs. Might not strike out a lot of guys, but the control's really good for Taillon as well. On the year, Jameson Taillon's made 18 starts, got 8 wins, and of course he plays for those Cubs, so the 8 wins make sense. 4.26 ERA, 111 WHIP, 101 innings pitched, 78 strikeouts. This one's easy. This one's probably one of the easier must-adds for me today. At 32% owned, I love Jameson Taillon and what he can do just, even coming up into the weekend, into this Angel start. Let's, I'll do the same thing we did for Perkins. Let's dive into where Jameson Taillon is going to get these next couple of starts too. So actually, it might not be this weekend against the Angels. I'm looking at what Yahoo has projected. It looks like it's going to be the 26th against San Francisco, in San Francisco, which actually isn't too bad. After that, maybe he's in Colorado. Don't love that one. So at least for Taillon, who's 32% owned on Yahoo, his next start's going to be good, whether it's against the Angels or the Giants. I like those two potential matchups for Jameson Taillon, right? Let's move on to this next guy. Let's talk about somebody who else has been back from the IL for at least a little bit longer than Taillon has. It's Luis Gil of those New York Yankees. Another guy only really applying the same day ads here. Unfortunately, I did miss this one too. Luis Gil pitching Thursday as you guys are listening against Boston. And I'll be honest with you, it's not a start that I love. Those Boston Red Sox are pesky, man, with Anthony and, Story and just the rest of them boys out there. Can go out there and hit on any given night. So Luis Gil, who has been mediocre since he's been back, his last start, actually his last 2 weren't too bad. The first one he got rocked in. But overall, it's been 3 starts since he's been back for Luis Gil. 1 win, a 5.14 ERA, 1.64 WHIP, 14 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts. I'll say this. Gil at 51% owned feels about right there. So I'm just being honest with you guys. Not somebody I'm rushing out there to add to the waiver wire, but not off the waiver wire, but definitely somebody I'm adding to my watch list. I kind of want to see how it goes, because if it's a nice little start here for Luis Gil, then I want to go out there and add him, because he actually gets the Nationals after that and then the White Sox. So you know what? Actually, as you're listening here on Thursday, Luis Gil might not be too bad of an ad, because those are 2 good matchups, and we're playing the matchups here down the stretch. It's not so much more, give this guy a month and he might be good. That's why I said with Luis Gil, I know he has potential to be good, but before I say, hey, you know what, officially add him, let's see whose next 2 starts are against. It looks like against the Nationals for Gil on August 26th, and then it looks like on the 31st he will line up against the White Sox. So 2 nice starts there for Luis Gil coming up, and especially if you can go out there against Boston and get it done against them. Now, Luis Gil himself, he's never going to be, the must add in terms of WHIP. ERA might be a little bit elevated at times, but he can definitely go out there and get those strikeouts, pitch 6 innings, and get you a win for, with this Yankees team. So Luis Gil, what did I say his ownership percentage was? 51% owned on Yahoo. If you can go out there and add him, it's definitely going to be good for the foreseeable future, at least matchup-wise, right? But yeah, let's sneak a bet. Let's do a bet real quick. Let's talk about these Yankees who have been mashing of late, and one of their latest acquisitions before the trade deadline was Jose Caballero, came over from Tampa Bay, and Caballero has been good, man. I think it's just tough because the Yankees have a lot of bats, and especially they don't want Judge, they're trying to nurse Judge's injury, that he's came back from not too long ago. Stanton's another guy who really can only DH, can't really do too much else. So Caballero, who can play, who has eligibility at second, third, short, and outfield on Yahoo, can do a little bit of everything. Played 4 straight games for the Yankees before sitting tonight on Wednesday, August 20th, as I'm recording. But went 2 for 4 on August 19th with 2 homers, 3 RBIs, 1 for 4 on August 17th with a run and RBI. August 16th, Caballero went 2 for 4 with 3 runs, 2 steals. And on August 15th, Caballero went 2 for 3 with 2 steals. So once, like I said, 4 straight games played in a row. I think the Yankees kind of want to try and find, Caballero's bat, a way to get in there, especially when he's hot like this. He can steal bases, sneaky little bit of pop in that bat for Caballero. I think he can hit for a little bit better average than the 237 batting average he's been showing so far. 26% owned on Yahoo. Now, his 39 steals, I believe, is the lead, right? If I'm not mistaken, I was looking at it yesterday or a couple of days ago. Don't want to misspeak here, Caballero, I believe, still has it. Yeah. Caballero's got 39, and Jose Ramirez, 36. Chandler Simpson, 34. So, Caballero's still leading the league in steals. A guy that's quick like this, not even playing every day, leading the league in steals, very impressive. So, I think the Yankees got to get him out there a little bit more. But before I move on and talk about Ben Rice, then I have Brooks Lee, and I have Owen Casey, who I don't even think we've talked about yet. It got called up about a week or 2 ago. So, those names and more coming up next. And all right, folks, I need to talk to you about my friends over at 5 Hour Energy, right? Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're on the course or you just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5 Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape ginger lime flavor of 5 Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the bev cart. Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 at any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip. Visit 5-HE-win.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters Tournament, and it ends October 31st, 2025. And all right, guys, a couple more names here. So stick around, right? Ben Rice, another New York Yankee. Like I said, this Yankee lineup's been getting hot, and you kind of just want to get a piece of it where you can, with whether it be Caballero or Rice, who, are still out there. Ben Rice, 46% owned on Yahoo. And he's been solid of late. Homered on August 19th, went 1 for 4 in that one. On August 16th, went 3 for 5 with 7 RBIs, a home run, 2 runs. 2 for 4 on August 15th, 2 for 4 on August 11th. Rice has just been hitting. He's been hitting second in the lineup to second or fifth. He's been moving between second and fifth in the lineup, depending who's out there on that any given day. And you know what? Like I said, a lot of Yankees guys haven't been playing super consistently. Ben Rice has played every game since August 5th, which looks about like 10, 12 games. On the season, Rice hitting 240 with 54 runs, 19 homers, 46 RBIs, and 3 steals. So numbers aren't too bad. He's eligible at catcher and first. So he's like that nice guy coming off your bench that you could just, maybe my catcher's out for the day. You could throw Rice in there, first base, corner, infielder. I love the versatility that he brings to the table. And like I said, driving in a good amount of runs in this Yankee lineup of late. Had the big 7 RBI game on August 16th. So Ben Rice for me at 46% owned. I want him on my team now while he's hot. And this Yankees lineup is, out there doing their thing. So no reason not to go out there and add a guy like Ben Rice. Let's move on to another younger player here. Let's talk about Brooks Lee, man. Brooks Lee is somebody who, little as, I want to say about 2 years ago. Had a lot of prospect buzz around him. This Minnesota Twins team went out there and traded everybody at the trade deadline. So, the young boys can go out there and play. And Brooks Lee's been doing it, man. On a nice little hit streak here. Since August 13th, has hit safely in every game he's played in, which has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. That's including tonight as I'm recording on Wednesday, August 20th, has officially extended the hit streak and homered in his last 2 before the August 20th game. That's going on tonight as I'm recording. August 19th, 1 for 4 with the homer, 2 runs. August 17th, 1 for 3 with the homer, 4 RBIs in that one. And August 16th, 3 RBIs, 1 for 4. So Brooks Lee's been heating up overall in the season. 105 games played, 245 batting average, 34 runs, 13 homers, 52 RBIs, 2 steals. Now, Brooks Lee, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if, next season we're talking about him as not somebody who's very highly drafted, but I think savvy fantasy baseball owners are going to be like, hey, the kid's still, fairly young at, 24 years old, had the buzz, could be like a 260-ish, 270-ish batting average with 20-plus homers, good amount of RBIs, because in this last game on today as I'm recording, he's been moved to the 3rd spot in the lineup. Just a kid that had the prospect pedigree, had good results in the minors, and if it clicks for Brooks Lee here in the bigs, like I said, 2nd, 3rd, and short eligibility on Yahoo, only 8% owned. Must add type of player for me, especially in those shallower formats where you can't find somebody at second base, or short even, or even third base where we've had injuries of late. Definitely would go out there and snag a Brooks Lee. The power's legit. Good spot in the lineup for RBIs. I think the batting average has rooms to grow. Actually, to be honest with you, I'm super curious. I'm going to pull it up here, as we're talking. I want to see what the X batting average or the underlying stuff says about Brooks Lee for his batting average, because he has the tools for it. All right. So on the season, not great. 249 X batting average and 245 batting average. So I guess he's spot on. But I'll be honest with you, I guarantee of late it's been better. Not a really super fast guy, but like I said, Brooks Lee, I think in his prime could be like around a 270 guy with good solid pop, 20 plus homer pop and a good RBI potential, depending on where he hits in this Twins lineup and if they could somehow pull it together there. But let's keep things pushing. Let's move on to a prospect who got the call. I want to say it was about 2 weeks ago. Owen Casey of the Chicago Cubs. Don't think Matt might have spoke about him on an episode he did by himself, but I don't think I had the chance yet to talk about Casey since the call up. It looks like it was on August 14th. He played his first game in the bigs. After that, didn't start 3 games in a row, but did getting at bat in August 17th game, which would have been the 3rd straight game he didn't play, but he did get one at bat in that game. But August 19th, over the doubleheader, went 3 for 6, 2 runs, a homer, 4 RBIs. He's also going to be in the lineup again tonight on August 20th, which is, Wednesday as I'm recording here. So getting a little bit of, burn. Overall, it's been 5 games for, the young Owen Casey. 286 batting average, 2 runs, a homer, 4 RBIs. And he had prospect pedigree as well. Where was he ranked? He was ranked fairly well into the top 100, if I remember correctly. I'm actually going to pull that up now. He was the 45th prospect in all of baseball before getting the call. Casey, 6'3", 190, 23 years old, outfielder, if I didn't already say that. Once again, for the Cubs, was crushing it down in AAA this year before we got the call. 93 games, Casey was hitting 289 with 69 runs, 26 doubles, 2 triples, 22 homers, 52 RBIs, 53 walks to 114 strikeouts. Don't love that. And 3 steals. Not really known for the speed, has a bit of pop, has 60 grade power on the 20 to 80 grade prospect scale. So you love to see that kind of power from a young kid, and let's see, what was his best home run? He had 22 homers in the 2023 minor league season over 120 games. Does he have 30 home run power? Potentially. So Owen Casey, and it's 9% owned on Yahoo right now. 5 outfield leagues must add. NL only is obviously must add. Deep 12s, I'd grab him there just because the prospect pedigree. When you see these young kids come up and they're figuring it out. I just like to add them to see where it goes because you never know which one of these young, kids with the prospect pedigree could turn into the next big major star. But let's sneak in this last guy, of the episode. It is Jo Adell of those Angels, right? And I honestly, I like Jo Adell, man. Could never get off that bandwagon. Always still like, oh yeah, look at Jo Adell doing this thing. And not a bad season from Adell, right? 119 games played on the year, 233 batting average, 49 runs, 28 homers, 78 RBIs, and 3 steals. Might go down as Jo Adell's career year. Wouldn't be shocked if it does. But, hey, let's ride the wave. Let's enjoy it. August 19th for Adell, 3 for 4, 2 home runs, 2 RBIs. On August 17th, Adell went 3 for 5 with 3 runs, 4 RBIs, and a homer. Homered in 4 out of 5 games from August 4th to August 9th. So August has been a big month here for Adell, driving in the home runs and the RBIs. He's been hitting 5th or 6th in this Angels lineup. It hasn't been good, but it's a decent spot to get some RBIs. He's 37% owned on Yahoo. Adell is. Listen, if you need some pop in your lineup, go out there and snag Adell. But guys, that is going to be all for today. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, rate, and review. And shout out to our everydayers and new listeners making Locked On Fantasy Baseball your first listen today. And for your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. But guys, until next time, see ya.